Ahead of tomorrow's jobs report, who better to ask than my buddy Zane Tankel, Apple Metro CEO, which controls more than 30 Applebee's. And boy, oh boy, you guys have taken a lot of punches in the restaurant business, starting with the pandemic, then with the crime spree, et cetera. Let's start with the labor shortage. Are you finding it difficult to find help these days?
We're not, David, but we're
And why not, by the way?
Okay, because you can't start being respectful and nice to people after COVID hits. It's our culture, it's our mantra that we were always respectful. We were always and if the labor and management can get along,
yes,
and they do
yes.
get along. It's when it's confrontational and adversarial that you have a problem.
So in other words, for all the shutdowns and everything, people you had to say, look, we're going to call you. And when you called them after the shutdowns were over, they all came back?
We stayed in touch with them through the whole COVID.
Amazing.
So the whole 2 years. And I can tell you on air, people watching, we have more people than we need right now. We have people still calling and saying, when will you open your next restaurant?
Wow. So the problems that we're seeing across, and by the way, tomorrow we're supposed to get a 300,000 job number. So it's a fairly good job number, and it's something to cheer about if it's a good number. But do you think that because of the pressures of inflation, and we did have 2 negative quarters in the first half of the year, that we may begin to get into some problems with regard to jobs, companies going out of business, and the surplus that we have now going away?
Yeah, I think we're already there. If you know, Bed Bath & Beyond got a bridge loan of 400 some odd million, or they'd have filed for bankruptcy. Revlon filed for bankruptcy. In the restaurant business, our space, we employed pre-COVID well over 10 million people. We're still 1 million shy. We're about 8% under pre-COVID employment as an industry, and I believe if we're not the largest employing industry in the country, we're the second largest for sure. So we're starting to see wilting around the edges. Google, Amazon, they all have notified that they're not going to be hiring anymore. And only today, I believe it was, Snap notified that they're laying off 10% of their entire labor force, 10%, which is about 1,800 people.
Now, inflation, of course, the administration has this new anti-inflation plan, although they're spending more money like it's going out of style, so a lot of people don't think it's going to last. But how has it affected you in terms of everything from labor costs to the price of food, which has skyrocketed, to the price of energy? I mean, you use a lot of energy in your business.
No, more than any single industry has a retail side of it, right? So how do I think? I think that the administration is lying. I'd like to put
about what?
About anti-inflation. Just the name of the program is a misnomer. Injecting cash into an economy without accompanying productivity is anything but helping out. It's inflationary. I mean, it doesn't take a brain.
But how has it affected your businesses with all these restaurants you have and oversee? It must have cut into your profit margin big time.
There's no doubt. Our last price increase was only 0.8%, and the reason is the consumer is now banging his and her head on the ceiling, and there's just so much pain they're going to take. There's no doubt, in answer to your question, there will be more pain, and a lot more pain, and if you don't believe it, the government has, or the Fed has said, they're going to inflict pain. The question is how much.
So you have to have some profit margin, otherwise you'd be out of business.
Sure.
But where do you take it from? Where do you take your profit from in order to pay for the more labor costs, more energy costs, et cetera?
Well, you have to get it from the consumer, but in smaller and smaller slices. So what you're doing is you're shrinking margin. And so here's how that reflects itself with us and within industry. We're not building more restaurants. We're not expanding. And it's part of the contraction of the overall economy. Yeah. So instead of having discretionary income to find another site and hire more people, we're going the opposite way.
Now, we don't have much time. I know you don't like to get involved in politics, because you have to deal with Republicans and Democrats in your business. But Donald Trump was a businessman. He understood business, regulations, et cetera. Biden is not. He's been a politician his whole life. His whole administration is full of politicians. Does that affect the policies that affect you?
Oh, without a doubt. Biden is an empty suit, for lack of a better expression. I mean, he really is. And when you spend your whole life as a politician, what would you know about paying a bill? What would you know about hiring, inflation, wages? You can't. What I candidly resent is he makes believe he does, and he doesn't. the reality is doesn't. So don't make believe. Get people that do. Get people that understand.
And when Donald Trump was president and when he changed the regulatory status, that affected your life in a positive way.
Without a doubt. And listen, I don't like the ex-president's mannerisms,
yes,
but there is no issue that he had all the right policies, he had all the right moves, he had all the right dance steps, and the music was playing.
The music was playing. It ain't playing right now.
It ain't playing now.
Zane Tankel, great to see you, my friend.
Thanks,
Thank
David.
you very much.